Happy anniversary, you filthy animals.
1 year.
I say filthy animals because wasn't that the scene in Home Alone, the video that Kevin was watching in the hotel room where the gangster goes something
Merry
about
Christmas, you filthy animal.
Did you know? Little side note here.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Yeah. Oh, what am I going to say?
You're going to say that was that little clip was shot for that film.
It was not a real classic.
It's not a real movie.
What?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Not a real classic movie.
I love that little bit of fun fact.
I'm really glad you backed me on that because I was waiting to see, are we going to get into a debate here about whether or not that was an actual real piece of footage?
No, I heard the same exact thing.
Yep.
Did you guys get that from that Netflix show?
I might have. The movies that made us?
Yes, yeah.
They might have mentioned it. But the real interesting thing about that movie is that the entire film, except for the exterior of the house, the interior stuff, it's all shot in a high school gym.
That house also
Wait,
just
what?
went for sale.
Yeah. The house that we talked about this
A couple
recently.
years ago, I think, yeah.
That was all in a high school gym.
If you watch the Home Alone bit on the movies that made us,
Yeah.
the entire set so that the cameras had room to move around and stuff, like in
Yeah.
the basement and like all over the place,
Yeah.
doing all these Kevin things.
Yeah.
They built the set inside a gym, but like it always just looks like a house from the inside.
How cool is that if
Most
you went
of
to
it, at
that
least.
school, too?
Yeah, right?
Knowing
And
that
you knew?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, that's awesome.
Side note, I think the second one of the Home Alones was the better of the Home Alones, personally.
Oh, you mean the one starring Donald Trump?
No,
I thought the second one was great when the paint cans come. You know, it was all
That
in
was
that
the first
apartment
one.
building. No, it was in the second one. There was more shtick in the second one. It felt like.
Why do I remember the paint cans in the first one?
But I also remember what was the one tall bad guy? Not Joe Pesci, the other one.
I don't know
His name was Harry in the
Harry. And I remember the scene where the bricks kept hitting him in the head in the second one. And it was classic because it was one of those scenes. Remember the old VHS days where you'd rewind and rewatch a scene?
Yep.
And it was the classic, he gets up, he's like,
That guy didn't even have much of a career after that either. I think he did like one other, like, I don't even want to say popular movie, but you want me to Google that?
Well, I kept trying to reach for my phone, but we're filming on the phone, so I'm
that's not going to work.
Hold on a second.
But yeah, that was me personally. I thought the second one with the old lady in Central Park was really sweet. The pigeon lady, remember her?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they both had like a creepy, weird person because there was like the neighbor who was weird, but he turned out to be a really nice guy who saves his life.
Yes. Oh my
In the
gosh, I
first
forgot
one.
about
In
that.
the first one.
Yeah.
In the
By
second
the
one,
way-
there was the pigeon lady.
Marv is the tall guy.
Oh, Marv.
Harry's the short one.
Harry's Joe Pesci.
See,
Daniel
and-
Stern.
And and Joe Pesci like had a career after that, but Daniel Stern.
He was in City Slickers.
Yeah,
I
but that was around the same time.
forgot.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
before. Well, that was right in between Home Alone 1 and 2.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
But what else did he do?
He's in For
Rookie-
All Mankind, the Apple TV Plus show.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
He's only in one episode though, so I'm sure he like died in space. or
Well, if you
something.
play your cards right, those were two blockbusters. You're in good shape.
He was also in Rookie of the Year, which I loved.
Okay.
Rookie of the Year. But other than that, did he really actually have much of a career?
He was in
No.
No.
No,
really.
not really. No, not at all.
Not much of one whatsoever.
Hey, but maybe he did something else. Like maybe he just like had an actual job.
Was he a director? Did he go into like directing or producing? Sometimes a lot of people that do, well, like you do a couple big things and you're like, I'm stepping behind the
He
camera.
directed 5 things. He directed TV show episodes, but only 5.
Huh.
No, he didn't do much. He was mostly acting. He's got something coming up called Everything's Peachy.
Well, he can
I don't know what it is, but it's in pre-production right now.
He can take a brick to the face like nobody's business. Let me tell you.
Oh.
Maybe he's doing
That movie's
voice
so
work.
good. Home Alone still holds up.
I think so too. Home Alone, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh,
I feel like they all do.
Yeah.
And did you ever see that thing where it says if you don't quote National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation at least 5 times during the season, like you're not a true fan?
Oh, I believe the season's not the season unless you do that.
Right. Like
I think it should just be any movie, any Christmas movie. You know what I mean?
Like
Well-
that's your family's. Christmas movie.
There is a family like one that you
Yes,
do.
yeah. Like
But with that one, you've got classics. Where are you going to put a tree that big? Bend over and I'll show you. That's a classic.
why is the carpet wet, Margot?
I think
I
because
don't remember that line.
And he goes, "Oh wait, hold on. Let me think how it goes. Why is the carpet wet, Margot? I don't know, Todd."
I think because that movie was slightly too old for. I've seen it, but it's not like a classic we watch every
Which
year.
one? Christmas Vacation?
Christmas Vacation, yeah.
You know, a funny story, and I'll tell you this really quick. So
You need to adapt it.
this goes back. We used to do a thing with the Scott and Alley Show, the Spirit of the Season. A friend of ours used to own the Corning Palace Theater. Actually, a friend of ours still owns it, but it's a different friend that owns it now.
Yep.
But an old friend, Tim Bonomo, we'll give him a shout out.
Whoop, whoop.
Used to own the Palace Theater, and we did this thing where we would run a couple classic Christmas movies. We always tried to get Bad Santa, but there was always, well, we had two theaters. We wanted to do the adult theater with Bad Santa because that's an adult movie.
Right.
And then, whether we did Elf one year, we did Christmas Vacation. Well, the Christmas Vacation one, either way, it was free admission. You just brought food for the food pantry. But the Christmas Vacation we actually did on the 20th anniversary of that movie being out. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it was huge. I mean, this is going back a number of years now, but it was great because I remember on the show we were talking about the fact I had not seen that movie in a theater since it was out originally like that. I'd seen it on TV, but And
I don't think I don't think I'd ever seen it in a theater.
No. Did we ever do a Christmas Story, your movie?
We did. And we also did.
Scott wasn't there.
No, I think I was in the other theater.
And we also did It's a Wonderful Life.
Yep, I remember that. Yeah.
So, yeah, we had all of those.
Yeah, that was good stuff. Well, I mean, anyway, that was the Christmas thing. I figured I'd start by wishing you all a happy anniversary of Filthy Animals. We'll see you next year for new podcast. We're still going?
We're still here.
Oh, okay, that's good. Can I give some Thanksgiving leftovers, even though we're a little past it now?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am convinced something's going on, and I can't figure it out. And if you're going to say, Scott, it's you, it could be, but I don't get it. Okay, so I went to North Carolina, right? I've mentioned this on the show. I've mentioned this on the podcast. The kids in Annette are in North Carolina staying this school year with her parents, work reasons, so on and so forth. And I went down for Thanksgiving, right? That we knew. And Gordon managed to come because he was 40 miles away. So, you met Gordon in the last podcast,
right.
And he was, here in 40 miles from the house. We're like, well, you're coming to Thanksgiving. So it was really a great treat, right? Except for the fact, and one could say this was a great treat. I don't get it. I got there 9:00 on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, because I left right after we wrapped up the show at 10 on that Wednesday. So good time, made it at 9:00 at night.
Yep.
And Annette's mom and dad were up. Gavin was up. He was very excited. I did not see Annette's mom come out of her bedroom until Thanksgiving when it was time for dinner.
Yeah.
And then she disappeared again. And then only one other time, and I was there till Sunday, did she come out of her room. And that means all Saturday she was in her room.
Yeah.
She
Did she have a bathroom attached?
Yes.
Okay.
Sunday, they took the
bed.
And who's delivering her meals?
The bedpan. Then she went on a walk with her husband to take the dogs for a walk while Annette and I had the kids. They have a beautiful Y in Marion, North Carolina. Frankly, we need one here in Chemung County like that. There's no excuse we don't. But that was the only other time she came out of the bedroom. And then she proceeds to say, "Oh, Scott." Actually, it starts like this. Remember, we learned this last podcast. Every single conversation starts with Scott. Yeah. And I've started to get her back, and I'll tell you how in a minute. But it was, Scott, I don't think I can drive back. Because the plan was she was going to drive back because she's got more work to do here in town until Christmas. And then things kind of wrap up. Not 100% sure if she'll be back for 2023, but she's got more work to do. So she had plane tickets already, but the idea was we didn't want her to rent a car because it's like $1,500. You're coming up to work to make money, and you're instantly skimming $1,500 off.
Yeah.
So the plan was she was going to follow me in her car on the Sunday after Thanksgiving, and bad traffic and all that, and I knew I wouldn't get above 60 miles an hour with her driving. But either way, the whole plan was save the money. Nope, it was, Scott, I don't think I can drive. Taking the dogs for the walk just took it out of me. I'm going to have to fly.
How does she stay awake during a shift?
I don't get it, because you're right. She does her job, and she was not like this when she was at my house.
Yeah.
Like when she's at the house, she's up for a couple hours after work. I mean, neither one of us stay up late. She gets up after I leave for work, but it's a full day. So she does a full job, an 8-hour day, and it's busy, and she's working with kids, and it's not like it's slow, and it's not like it's not. But the minute she gets there, I'm not joking. I cooked everything except for Annette's cranberry sauce thing for Thanksgiving dinner. I did the turkey, the stuffing, the green bean casserole, the mashed potatoes. I did it all, everything.
Yeah.
And not that I minded. It kept me busy, and I was watching the Bills game, so I was happy. But it's like, if this ever happens to me, both of you have permission to come to my house, take a pillow, and just smother me out of my misery. I don't understand.
Well, I think a couple things. Why didn't she instead, yes, she can fly here, but I thought you guys have access to Gordon's car.
No, that ended because Gordon actually is coming off over the road and going to do more local, so he'll be living back at the house on the regular.
Oh,
it's a new update, by the way, which is exciting. It'll be nice.
That is awesome. Okay,
I'll never have a moment alone.
Here's my thing. I think that she is either suffering from some sort of depression. And especially when you lay around for even a couple days, you kind of just get used to laying around.
This weekend.
Yeah, right?
But eventually I got to get up and do something. Yeah.
No,
I was actually happy today was a work day because yesterday I was like, 4 days of doing nothing is way too long. Like if you're doing something in those 4 days, it's different. But nothing, it's like, oh my God, I'm going to die.
Yeah, right? Your back starts hurting.
Yeah.
How does her back not hurt?
I don't know. Oh, she did get up. She did get up one time on Thanksgiving because I needed some spices to make a spiced butter for the turkey. An herbed butter. Yeah. Herbed butter. And apparently Annette had cleaned out the pantry and the spices, and it became the world-ending dilemma of. You can hear in the background, excuse me while I come off. If you're watching the video of this, because we're on YouTube now, as opposed to just listening to it, you'll see me off camera for a minute. And it's, I cannot find anything in here. God, I don't know what anything is. This is terrible. This is the front. Your daughter cleaned out spices that were 7 years old and some that were older than that and organized your whole pantry, and she's losing her mind. So she did come out to lose her mind.
Yeah.
And then she disappeared again for the whole rest of the day. And literally, I don't get it.
Here's the thing. She only does this at her house.
She did do it the first weekend she was in town here pre-Thanksgiving, but she was suffering from a bit of a cold, so it was like rested up. I don't know. If it's going to happen every weekend at my house, it's almost weird. It's like, I don't want you hanging around me nonstop, but like, what do you... I couldn't do it.
No, I couldn't either. But what I was deducing was... Is there an issue with the marriage, which is why she just stays holed in her house or in her bedroom?
Well, from time to time, it's big, Annette's dad would go in and lay in there too, and I guess they'd watch a show or whatever, or whatever. But I mean, I kid you not, that door was closed a lot, not for good reasons.
Right. I still think that she's suffering from.
They weren't doing the Polsky boogie, if you know what I'm saying.
I think that she still suffers from some sort of depression or something. And being the older generation, I don't know if she's willing to explore that more.
Maybe that could be it.
I mean, she's had a lot in her life, so
yeah. No, I know, and she did admit one day that she was still grieving her mom's passing, which was still very fresh for her. So I get
right.
That.
This is her first Thanksgiving without her mom.
Sure, and then we're gonna get to the first Christmas where we won't see her till New Year's out of her room, and
I think you should be happy.
Well, I'm not complaining about not endlessly having to carry on the conversation. It's just so anti what I'm anything used to. Like,
because you've never suffered from depression.
I guess. I guess. I mean, this is a heavy conversation, but I guess.
I don't know. Do you want to say something to her? Do you want Annette to say something to her mom?
No, because
no, I don't want her to get better.
No, it's not like her mom hasn't dealt with therapists.
Okay.
But her mom's one of these people that goes to a therapist and all of a sudden is the therapist.
Oh. You know what the funny thing is? I would have a hard time talking to my mom about it, too. The other day, my mom said, how you doing? She goes, some days are better than others.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, does Gail need to come visit and fix things at my house? We can keep her busy.
I don't know.
She can hook up with the contractors and rebuild my kitchen.
My mom has never been that person who is. I've never known my mom to have like a depressive phase in her life. So, and honestly, when it comes to bad stuff, our family doesn't usually talk about bad stuff very often.
That means it didn't happen.
Ours either.
Yeah.
My grandmother, she's not and like the super healthiest right now. Like she's not doing great, but she refuses to let the grandkids know that she's having bad days.
It's a generational
thing. Only
It
recently,
is.
she was like, she just doesn't want to worry me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm going to be worried one day when you're not alive anymore, Grandma. So I need you to keep me up to date with things.
But you know what? That generation specifically, because am I right by saying your grandmother's probably around her 80s?
Yeah, 80s.
Okay. That generation, they didn't want to burden the younger generation with that. It's not your problem.
That's
sure.
even my dad's generation too, because he's 64?
Yeah.
And he had a heart attack or a little heart incident when he was working in Detroit. And did not tell us. He went to the hospital and everything. He's like, well, I just don't want to worry you guys. I'm
Don't
like,
want to
At least
worry
he
the
went
kids.
to the hospital.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
people are too stubborn. They're like, I'm fine. It was just a thing.
Dude, I've had 3 heart attacks and a stroke just since this
Today.
podcast began. I mean, you know.
Real quick before we end, I have one thing.
We're ending already?
Well, we have a meeting. We have a meeting in 8 minutes, so we have to.
Well, we've got 8
I got 8 minutes to fill.
Actually, 10 if you go on Allie's and my time for that meeting.
Well, I just wanted to mention. So today, I noticed, or not. This wasn't today. I noticed that my headlight lamp is out. So I have to get that replaced. And I caught the repair people in a lie about it. I wanted to ask how much would it cost for the bulb and how much. It's just the bulb. Like there's nothing wrong with the headlight.
Yeah.
You just have to replace the bulb. And I called a place. I won't mention them.
Okay.
They're very local.
Okay.
Bulbs are us.
I asked how much would a bulb cost and how much would it be for them to replace it. Obviously, the service fee is 60 times more than the actual part, of course.
Yeah.
But they said they had to remove like the entire front bumper, and then with everything, service fees and everything, it was going to be close to $300.
Oh my God,
to
dude.
replace a bulb.
I looked up a video online.
Yeah.
Before this.
Yes.
My dad's, because I was talking to my dad about it. He sent me a video, and then I watched the video, and I'm like, okay, dude, you just open the hood, you take that little cap off. Oh, there's the light. Okay. And so I was just
So you
like,
can do this yourself.
So I could do this myself, but I thought, well, if it's not that much, I'll just have them do it just because in case I fuck it up. Somehow. It doesn't look like I can, but just in case. I just wanted to see how much it was. And they were like, well, you have to do this, and this. It's going to be like almost $300. And for both lights, it's going to be almost $400. I go, okay, I'll let you know when I have time to schedule the appointment.
Yeah.
Fuck that noise.
Gotta check
Just
the
find
calendar.
the bulb, and then I'm going to literally check later if I can get access to this thing, like in the video.
Yeah.
I am doing this myself. Fuck these places. I'm so sick and tired of them taking my money.
But I've got one for you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Go get, you know what bulbs you got to get, right?
I have to check what it was, because there's 2 kinds. There's like the good one and the normal kind.
Yeah, get the good one, because then you'll be able to really see the deer that are jumping
I just want
in
to
front of
see
you.
what the other side is as well, or like what they were originally, just so that the other side isn't like it's two different brightnesses.
Oh, right.
If it's not a fortune, just break down and buy the 2 bulbs.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
here's what I'm going to tell you. For the cost of a 12-pack of Bush Light, not even light, just Bush, go with the real stuff.
Oh, are you going to do it for him?
I'll take you to Terry. He'll do it. We'll show up right at the end of the day. I'm telling you right now, my buddy Terry, who runs the shop, he would do it for a 12-pack of Bush and 10 minutes of good conversation. Maybe not good, but 10 minutes of conversation, it's done.
Well,
you don't have to.
If I'm struggling, I'll take that.
All right.
I love this idea, but I also love learning something from
Yeah,
YouTube.
I want to try it myself first, so I can at least know something about cars.
Yes, right.
I know nothing about.
Then Quinn comes in. Well, let me tell you, I noticed there that when I was replacing the bulb, the doohickey thingamajig there has a rattle and a crattle, and all of a sudden I pulled the dipstick out. He's an expert.
I know people. I know people who, and if you haven't done it, I get it. But I know people who still are afraid to go alone and fill the tires with air.
Oh, really?
They're like, I don't know how to do that. I need someone to come with me. And I'm first of all, it's free in most gas stations now. You don't have to pay the $1 anymore. And then it's just like, you just uncap it and
Right.
Yeah, but
You check the pressure in your door because it tells you how
you don't even have
go.
to really barely do that anymore. Most of them are automatic now. The one I still go to when I need air, which I have to pay $1 for still.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm that lucky enough to have that gas station. It actually automatically won't. It stops.
Well, you have to set it to what it is though, right? On the machine?
I don't know.
His tires are about to explode.
They're gigantic, but man, that ride's great.
But that's the beauty of having somebody who knows cars. You can be like, hey man, fill up my tires while I'm here.
Oh, sure.
Oh my gosh, you need a guy.
We got your guy.
I could be the guy.
We got
No,
you.
I know.
I could be the headlight guy.
I mean, but for other stuff, you need a guy.
Oh, sure, I do.
Quit with this. All these other people who you don't know, they're all lying to you.
Yeah.
This happened.
The
It's a
places
money
that
grab.
would do it for you, but no, I agree. I do have one more update. Remember the cats that I'm about to kill?
Oh yes,
Yes,
pulling
I
in.
actually just listened to that podcast the other day. Okay, so what happened?
2 podcasts ago, I talked about how there was a cat situation, or maybe last one, I don't even remember. There's just cats roaming around. Someone likes to just let their cats outside. They don't run away, but they meander around the complex.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed one thing is that there's occasionally I'll find a dead mouse. So I'm like, well, at least the mice aren't making it into Scott just farted in case you couldn't hear it. I'll try to enhance that audio. So at least the mice aren't making it into the apartments. Luckily,
Yes.
I'm on the second floor, so I don't have an issue with it. But
Oh, they can crawl anywhere, but keep going.
exactly. So there's dead mice everywhere. But today, or a couple days ago, well, today being the third time, I'm thinking these cats are getting crafty, or someone is.
Okay.
There's like a mouse serial killer on the loose. Because this is the third time I've found a decapitated mouse.
Ooh. That's taking care of business.
I'm like, what's that little weird furry thing? And I just see the eyes and the tongue sticking out, and I'm like, that is like just the head. The body's missing.
Yeah.
I'm like, someone
That's where
was
all the
like,
good meat is. They've eaten
Yeah.
it.
I'm just like, what is this like weird new cat serial killer?
Oh, so it's the cats that are doing
I'm
it.
hoping so, because if there's a person out there chopping off mice heads and then just leaving them around the parking lot, that's fucking weird.
Better than people.
In the podcast you previously talked about, you were trying to figure out who owned the cats.
Yeah, I still don't. I think I know which building they belong to because they keep fucking running out in front of my car at night, and especially with one headlight now, they're definitely gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
Okay, so you haven't killed one yet.
Not yet, not that I'm aware of.
Well, do it before
It's a bumpy parking lot.
do it before you get the headlight changed, because then you have an excuse and go,
Yeah.
I apologize. I couldn't see your cats
Yeah, it wasn't me.
that were outside of your house in the dark.
You guys want to hear another gross mouse story?
Yeah.
You got another one?
So I
back?
had, I killed 2 in just traditional
my God.
traps underneath my oven. But the one
Did you get rid of them yet, or are they still waiting for the roaster to go on?
So no,
No.
Well, okay. Well, here's what happened. The one was still there, and it had been a week or so. I think I mentioned this in a podcast too. So finally, Zach came over, and I was like, "You need to get rid of it." He goes, "No, I told you to do it. Now it's
Waiting
probably
for him.
Yes,
It's like decomposed.
That's what he goes. It's probably liquefying. It's probably stinky."
Mouse juice.
So I said, if you don't get rid of these, then I'm not going to ever do any dishes at your house ever again. I just started threatening
That's a
him.
fucking threat.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so he did reluctantly. And then I said, well, check to make sure that the other mousetrap, that there's nothing in there. And he looks, he's like, no, we're good. I said, no, you got to look. You need to get down there and look. So I get down there and look, and I'm like, whoa! You tricked me! So he goes,
I love your relationship. It's so great.
He said, no, I swear to God, I didn't see it. I'm like, yes, you did.
What a legend.
He plays hockey. He sees a black hockey puck this big.
Exactly.
He saw it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then he had to fling that one out the backyard too. And oh my God, I hate it so much.
Do you, when you finally mow your lawn every year after this pile of mice? Yeah. It's like,
Luckily, we have a lot of feral cats
pile of
too.
mice.
We have a lot of feral cats, and most of them will go after them. They like take them away. Thank God. But yes, I do have it's weird because I have this pile of leaves and twigs and all this stuff in my backyard. And you can see like these little traps that are laying on top of the leaves and the trees. It's disgusting.
wait, you throw trap and all out?
Yes, I am not touching that thing.
What? The trap has metal and stuff. What are you going to do when it is time to do your lawn?
Well, so the back of my yard is like
your lawnmower is going to break apart.
No. What I have
the saw blade flies out.
I have that old person gripper, so I grip it and then I throw it. So here's my yard. My yard is flat, kind of, and then it takes a deep dive down because the highway is behind.
Oh yes, the cavern to the highway.
Circle on the highway.
So
they're all there.
They're all back there. Yeah,
the non-mowed spot.
Well, yeah, because it's a hill.
For God's sakes. They had to have heard that one.
That is
a squeaker, like a mouse.
Those are turkey farts. Scott said today, I'm not eating any more turkey.
Oh, God.
Which, by the way,
I'm done with turkey.
He is on my side. He finally said, he's like, I'm not having turkey for Thanksgiving anymore.
What a pain in the ass thing to cook. Oh, my God.
Yeah, but that's why my dad gave up last year. He's like, the whole family isn't even together. Fuck the turkey.
Yeah. I'll make all the sides. It might be a ham.
It's the stupidest meat ever.
Oh, God. It's such a pain. Now we have a meeting to go to.
Yes, we do.
So,
we got to go.
Look,
happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. It's a year of throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.